Hey everybody, it's Deanna with toolsofenergyprotection.com, your energy shift expert. And tonight we're live here on Facebook and Instagram. And it is May 28th, 2019. And the energy changes are happening so fast and so furious that it is really a challenge to get through it all. You've got so many things flying at you at once. You don't know where to put your attention. You don't know where to direct your life. You really just aren't sure what's happening. That's the bottom line of what's going on right now. And you could say, okay, well, thanks for telling me that, and, turn it off. But I'll encourage you to listen all the way to the end. We are at a position right now with spirituality where we are connected so directly and so purely to God, Spirit, or Source. It is amazing. If you have any challenges in your life, if you feel in any way, shape, or form that things aren't going the way you would like, and you're a little bit nervous or not quite sure if things can happen for you where you are right now, I'd like for you to have faith. And when I was younger, my pastors and stuff would say, hey, have faith. And I used to think of it like, well, I knew what cereal was. And if I wanted to have some cereal, I'd go on the shelf and reach up and grab a box of cereal. So when the preacher said, have faith, I'm like, well, what does that mean? I really didn't know. Now is the time to know. And faith, under the power of the law of grace, we are able to do things, make mistakes, and learn, and still have that divine love from God's Spirit Source. Faith is knowing that you have that grace. It's knowing that you can make mistakes. It's knowing that you can be kind of self-involved and not really paying attention to your connection, and at any time kind of pop back up and go, oh, almost forgot. Here's God's Spirit or Source. I almost forgot that energy was there. That's pretty much what it means. And so where we are right now is we are working in a spiritual energy space that is so hard to describe. There's other people that I follow, people I call and connect with, make sure that I'm on the right, channel and the right page. And what they're calling this right now is the energy, they're calling it walking into a promised land. They're saying we're walking into a beautiful space where anything is possible and we can have anything we want. But how many of you this week, give me some thumbs up or some smiles or something, how many of you this week or in the last 7 days felt like we're not in utopia, it's anything but utopia, and it's more painful than I've ever felt before? How many? Just send me some hearts to let me know that's where you all are at too. So for the next roughly 7 to 9 days, we are adjusting to this new energy which came to us when the full moon came. It brought in this huge, if you will, tidal wave of uplifting, positive, loving energy. And that's where we are now. So here's the challenge. If you are not trusting, if you're not having faith, if you're not acting under the laws of grace right now, then you're feeling really held back. You're feeling really pressured. And you've got to let go. And even myself today with my assistant, she was here to help me. And I was stressed out to the max because not only do I have, my regular job of working with you folks, then I had, the Tuesday Night Live. My daughter is getting ready to wrap up her school year, and she has a lot of things due and needs some help. And, and then there's just other things to attend to. And you know how it is if you have kids or if you're an empty nester. You remember that. And there's so much coming at you and so much pulling. And so you take one little step at a time and you draw out what you're going to do. You draw out your plan, so to speak. So I had a time I was going to get up this morning, a time that I was going to help my daughter, a time that I was going to work, a time I was going to get ready for this live tonight. And I had it all mapped out. And I don't know if it's just the universe's way of telling me you have to let go because you're too regimented. And if we're going to bless you, you have to learn to roll with the flow no matter what. And so my daughter is on her classes. I'm like, yay, I have a couple of hours to go call my clients and touch base with those that have had appointments with me so I can see how they're doing. And she turns to me and she says, I can't hear my teachers. And when you're on online school, you have to be able to hear your teachers, just like people keep encouraging me to put the text here at the bottom so people can watch this without having the sound on. And that's, great, but I'd rather be able to hear. So maybe in the future. But anyway, so my urgency to work all of a sudden was shifted to my urgency to be there for my daughter because she has 2 days of school left and she really needs to be in class. So I reached out to the people that take care of that, and they couldn't see me until 1:30 today. And at 1:30, I had other obligations, which were very pressing, and then some more around 3 o'clock. So it just was not feasible for me to do that. But did I do it? Yes. And did I rearrange my schedule, even though it was really not feasible? Yes. That is how the energy shifts are going right now. It seems like you stack things up the way that you think you can handle them, the way that you think you can get things done. And the universe comes in and goes kaboom, and the pieces fall, and you're like, hey, and you try to catch what you can. So I saw the thumbs up while ago, thank you, in the hearts. So that's where it's at. And usually when I get that much of a lesson in my face, and the reason I'm sharing it with all of you is that tells me that I'm not making correct choices. When things blow up like that, I'm not making correct choices. And it wasn't bad. I mean, it was recoverable, but still, it just didn't fit into the way I had things scheduled or the way that I had different lines drawn for my day so that I could get through it and do more. So the universe, God, Spirit, Source is all pointing to asking us to go to this higher level of consciousness. And that is challenging because the higher level of consciousness says it'll all work out, have faith. Just walk forward. Allow blessings to be brought to you. Allow things to come to you instead of trying to control the way they come to you, which can be challenging for some of us. Other people just sit back and let it ride. So that's what's happening. And that's why sometimes we're getting this manic energy, and then sometimes we're getting the calmer energy. So begin to notice when you're manic, what are you stressing out about? What are you holding on to? Did you not allow enough time in a week to get things done, or was it just that day? And yes, you can say every once in a while life happens, but not the way I've been experiencing it, recently. It's just happening more and more and more. And it's more than I can handle. It's more than I can process, and there's no break. So what that tells me is that there is enough time to process things. There's enough time to absorb information, process it, and move forward. But if you can't, you're holding on to too much, and that goes to ego. Does anybody know what ego, if it was an acronym, Freud called it ego, period, but these days we've put in an acronym. Do you know what ego stands for? Edging God out. Edging good out. So my ego said, this is the way things have to roll today in order for me to feel comfortable. Didn't happen like that. So that tells me I have to think differently about how I set things up, how I order things in my life, how I allow. And so there's two poles of getting things done, two different poles. One pole says that you make a schedule and you stick to it. And the other one says you just roll with the flow and whatever happens, happens. Well, how many out there own a business, or they are going to school, or something where linear 3D time says you have to meet these certain criteria? Or if you work a linear job, you know, that's regimented, that you have to hit certain points in order to get certain rewards or energy exchanges. So if you just do the, you know, hippie kind of way of, oh, you know, live, let live, it'll happen, you won't progress anywhere. If, on the other hand, you're like me, and I'm like, I got to schedule everything and put it on the calendar and get it done, and then stress if you don't, and blah, 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 that is more regimented. But that's about goal setting. That's about directing your life and putting your life into a certain direction where you can achieve things. Because if you don't, how many out there have said, oh, I'm going to do this, and then week by week by week by week by week goes by, and before you know it, 6 months to a year, and you haven't done it yet. So setting goals is good. But right now, with this manic energy and then this calm energy, what's happening is basically it's a Ralphing massage. I think that's what they call it when they go to the deepest muscle tissue of your ego. And any time this week that you see signs like I did today that were that clear, and you can say, oh, life happens. No. Today, what happened was I desired to get things accomplished. I had a certain layout for them. The layout wasn't working. Yes, that can happen, and yes, life can happen. But what I'm saying is no. Where the energies are right now, that was the universe's way of telling me you are not approaching these things in a manner where you can be blessed. If you prefer, correctly, right? But then that leaves the question, what is correct? So now it's time for me to reevaluate, how am I bringing things to myself? How am I allowing the universe to bless me? How am I blocking blessings? What am I doing? And that is when you restructure things. So I might have too many things on my plate that I can't get to, but I'm pushing myself to do it. And by not being able to do it, it bruises my ego. And my ego says, oh, bad, 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 bad. Which leads to self-punishment. The other more relaxed side of me would say, oh, just get done what you can and the rest will come later. Well, what I'm understanding, the message that was given to me, is that this new divine energy that we're moving into, this new paradise, if you will, is to understand that setting goals, if you will, manifesting, that's what a lot of people like to call it, setting a direction and making some clear-cut goals and where are you going to be by what time. And then once you build the structure, whether you build a weekly structure, a monthly structure, then allowing that to work. So you plan your work and you work your plan. But the rigidity is something to be looked at. Because with my nose to the grindstone, I'm not allowing for things to come in, whether they're an upset like today or a divine blessing. If there's no room, there's no room. So by faith, knowing that the blessings are there and everything is headed in the right direction, you can relax. Do you give up your dreams and your plans and your goals? No. But allow yourself to see what your rhythm is and then put yourself into that rhythm. And keep it as long as it lasts. When a new rhythm comes, a new rhythm will come. Make sense? If I can get some thumbs up out there from everybody. It's a pretty harsh last 7 days and then rolling in. So it hasn't been exactly easy. But again, look at those things. The other information that we're getting right now is about relationships. Again, with the relationships, I'm so, it's like last year was about that too. I'm like, but it's a new set of relationship rules, because once you realize that we're in a new energetic space where when we're more connected in prayer, in meditation, talking to God, Spirit, or Source, when we're more connected there, then we can have more blessings, more movement, more joy and peace in our life, but it's allowing it to take place. That's what I just talked about. Having a plan and then working within the plan in a way that you can, in a way that works, in a way that you're being guided. So knowing that, the other aspect is that we're learning is relationships. So if you're learning a better relationship with yourself, like, what do you like? What don't you like? What's your personality like? My personality is to make a goal and then drive to get to it. And then once I get to it, it wasn't good enough. Let's do it again, right? I'm changing that now to set goals, to see where I'm headed, to participate in being where I am now, setting the goals and walking towards them, and allowing things to ebb and to flow. And when I succeed, celebrate my success, and not so much what didn't go right. So that's what I am doing. What are you doing to help relate to yourself? And as you relate to yourself more and more, it will change the dynamic of how you relate to other people. That's normal. So one of my clients has been working at the same place for, I think, 7 or 8 years. And she gets treated poorly at her work, or that's how she perceives it. So we changed how she was looking at where she was working. We changed the attitude about how she feels about herself. And for the first time in, 6, 7 years, people are starting to show her more respect. Why? Because she stepped out on faith and changed her relationship with herself and how she saw herself, how she talked and carried herself with other people. And they were like, wow, this is a different person. And they began to respect her more. So that's what I mean about changing relationships right now. Because as you change yourself to align more with divine love, with God, in prayer, in meditation, then your brain, the way you treat yourself, the way that you do things are going to naturally change. And that will change people around you and how they interact with you and how you interact with them. So the last part of this shift for this week that's so super important is dreaming. I had a lady today that told me that she's been having bizarre dreams. Somebody 2 days ago said they are wiggy dreams. I myself have been having some not normal dreams. This is your conscious brain, the one in your head, processing what's happening in a more clear connection with God's Spirit or Source. When you feel better about yourself, you're less likely to do things than when you feel bad about yourself, and vice versa. So maybe you're a person who needs to drink more water. You know you're dehydrated, but you just don't want to. And now you're having more of a connection with God's Spirit or Source. That takes water to run the electricity in your brain. And so your body is telling you to drink more water so you can have more of the connection. So that may be changing for some of you as well. It's just a habit change. It's habit forming. You drink so many glasses of water a day, whatever your amount is. And when you don't do that, it punishes your body because your body can't run as well. It's like a car without oil in it. You wouldn't take, a third of the oil out of your car on purpose because that's going to hurt your car. It's the same way with your body and water. So dreaming is happening more regularly. It's showing you things that are not right in your life. It's showing you things that are right in your life, and it's asking you to make a decision. So if you're remembering your dreams, think about the themes. What's going on? What's happening? How do you feel? Could you feel differently? And then in your day-to-day life, your 9 to 5 gig, so to speak, look at the things that are truly bothering you. And why is it bothering you? Make a list. If you need help, if things are bothering you and you're not sure why they're bothering you, then make a list. We'll get together and we'll talk about it, because sometimes those issues are so deep-seated from our childhood, from our past, that we don't consciously know and we're not aware of them. So that's where the energy shift is for this week. That's a little bit longer than I would normally go, but it's so super important. And then going forward in my business, you're going to see a change here in the next couple of months with the energy shift updates. I've been doing them here on Facebook Live and now Instagram Live. I think I've been doing them on Facebook for a couple of years and Instagram just recently. And each week, people tell me they find it of value, and updating them and letting them know what's going on and letting them know they're not nuts, because they're feeling these things. And I'm going to be shifting in the next couple of months over to a different platform, which I will make everybody aware of, don't worry. And I'm going to start doing the energy shift updates about twice a week on this platform. And if you desire to change over there with me, I'll have that set up in a different space so that you can come. I'll still do the Facebook Lives, but I'm going to start handling them a little bit differently about what I talk about, what I'm addressing. And so the energy shift update will be moving in a couple of months to a different platform. It'll still be the same. It'll still be the same information, just a little bit in a different space and accessibility. Also, for those of you that don't know, I also do medical intuitive work. I've been doing medical intuitive work for probably about 4 or 5 years now. And what that means is people will come to me with a disease. Maybe they don't know what it is. A lot of times the doctors say, I can't find anything wrong, and they're wanting to know what's going on with their body. So I've been working for years with emotions. So if you have a certain emotion, your body will store it in a certain part of your body, and you'll get a dis-ease from that. So I work with those things to point those things out and help you. And I also can pinpoint anatomy. So today I was working with a gal that had something going on in her gallbladder, and it was in a direct response to what was happening in her emotional life. So those are in addition to whatever naturopath, Western medicine person that you're seeking. This is additional information so you can have them test for certain things or look at certain things. So today I would like to announce, this is so exciting, I've been looking for a book that would allow me to see the tinier details, rather than this is your liver, your gallbladder, whatever, the tinier details of what may be out of frequency, out of alignment for you. And today, this is so exciting, I got my new book. So this is the Human Anatomy book. It is like awesome. A big shout out to my chiropractor, Dr. Perkins, who pointed me in the direction of this. And this is amazing because it has such small, infinite, like finite detail, medical detail. And so what that enables me to do is to tell you where the disharmony is in the body, where the frequency is not right in the body. And if you so choose or desire, you can then take that to a naturopath, to a herbologist, to a Western medicine doctor, and at least you'll be able to know where the body is not in perfect harmony or frequency. And that's huge. It's a big shift for moving forward. So now I'm just not telling you, your pain is from here to here and that's it. So that's a huge move. Anyway, there's just a few days left in the latest, I have an angel standing in my office. Shiny object, literally. I put up on the website on the last blog, there is a hack sheet for highly sensitive and empathic people. And especially right now, if you're having a hard time, go download the hack sheet. It's there. All you have to do is download it. I've been noticing in the analytics that there are at least 100 people that have downloaded the sheet. That's great and fantastic. It's free. It's a free gift to you. I'm not asking for your email address or anything else. It's just so important to get it out there. So you have until the end of this month to get it out there. Get it or go download it and look at it. Then once you do, read it, see how it feels for you. Go to the website on the bottom of the blog. Post how you felt about it. Did it help you? Did it not help you? What was it lacking? And then I'm going to enter you into a contest. And why this is important is the last prize that we have for this month that I will give away at the end of the month is a 1-hour session with me free. A free 1-hour session. So if you have been needing a session, maybe it wasn't in your price point, this is the time. So here are the contest rules. Go to the website, toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on the latest blog, look for hack sheet. At one time I called it worksheet if you get an older blog. Download it, read it, use it for a day or two. See how it helps you as a highly sensitive or empathic person to deal with the current energies. Go back to the web page, scroll down to the bottom and post a comment. It says reply, it doesn't say comment. So you put a reply in there just saying what worked for you and what didn't, and I will enter you for a free 1-hour session with me to be awarded at the end of the month. And so everybody that enters will be put their name, actually their actual name will be put in a little bag, and then my assistant reaches in there and draws one out, so we have a winner. So anyway, that's it. I hope you'll join me. Thursday is a huge day for energy shifts. People are starting to realize that all this wiki stuff going on wasn't just because. So I called the bookstore. They have 3 spaces open for a 1-hour session down at For Heaven's Sakes Books, 303-964-9339. And you can either come see me at the bookstore, give me a big hug. We can FaceTime the appointment, and there's another platform called Zoom if you would rather that, so we can see each other face to face. And then I'll write out a report for you and send that to you in the mail if you're not there in person to get it. So I'm super excited about the changes coming up. We're going to be changing the background and the lighting and some super neat things coming up here in the next couple of months. So happy spring to everybody, to all of my beautiful friends in Colorado. I hope that you're okay. We had a few tornadoes go through and some, I think it was tennis ball size hail, some big winds, and so we've had a lot of storms here in Colorado, so hang in there, and it's going to be an absolutely fabulous springtime. And I thank you so much, each and every one of you, for taking your time this evening to join me. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for watching. As soon as I get off, I'll go ahead and hit save, and it will upload it on the replay to Facebook, Instagram. I think you have to go over to YouTube to view it. So anyway, have a great and wonderful night. Big hugs and kisses to everybody. Thank you so much. I couldn't